And
No slide now.
this session right here is Global Connections and Collaboration for the Elementary Classroom. I'm Craig Yen with the 5th grade teacher over in California. And we'll just go down the line to just introduce ourselves. Angela?
Okay, I am Angela Poovey. I'm an elementary school counselor outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. My first Edcamp home.
Oh, awesome. Welcome. Heidi.
Hi, I'm Heidi Vizona and Heidi McLeod. I am an English language learner teacher in West Vancouver, Canada, so also known as ESL teacher. I've taught for over 30 years in the public school system here in Canada as a classroom teacher. So, and I'm just Global Connections fits in very well with
Are you the only one in here?
How awesome is that? Kate, go ahead.
Okay. Hey there. Hi, my name is Kate Ogden. I'm a academic technology coordinator for a pre-K through 4th grade private school in Dallas. I teach 1st through 4th grade technology, but I work with teachers throughout the entire school. And this is also my first Edcamp home.
Oh, awesome. Liza, go ahead.
Okay. I'm Liza Brown, and I teach in Mesquite, Dallas area, 1st grade bilingual. And this is my first Edcamp or Edcamp home. And so I'm here to learn and wanting to, I've been learning a lot on Twitter lately and want to participate in this to find out a little bit more.
Awesome. Trish?
Hi, I'm Trish Dallin from Wausau, Wisconsin. I teach 2nd grade. And this is my first Edcamp home. I've gone to about 6 Edcamps.
Wow, how awesome. What is it that people what is it, why are we here? What do people want to know?
Well, I think when I posted the topic of collaborating, I do the global read aloud. So I make connections that way. But I also want to make connections, because since everybody's doing the Common Core, through literacy with another. I think the kids would learn so much better from other kids and let me get out of the way. And so to develop a system or connections where, grade levels could work together and, either a hangout or, and once a week and do just chats with the kids are chatting about the books they're reading.
Awesome. You did mention Global Read Aloud, and then so Global Read Aloud it's a Global Read Aloud project, and that's from Pernille Rip. I did type it over in our back channel chat. It's at globalreadaloud.com. And then so with the Global Read Aloud project that Pernille Rip started, that you can go ahead and connect globally with some other classes, that it's a shared book reading experience. So it's a 6-week program where it is that you can connect in different ways. Did anybody else participate within the Global Read Aloud project this past year or in other years?
No, but it's on the list.
I got one of my 5th grade teachers to get on board with the Global Read Aloud last year, and I'm actually going to read the book. I'm on the list to receive the book, and I'm going to try to incorporate it this year, even if it's not in the structured project, since I don't have an actual classroom.
Sure. That's awesome. I know that we participated within the Global Read Aloud project this past year, and then we connected with some classes in some different ways. And then so we connected them through conference calls, through Google Hangouts, and through Skypes. And then we did some shared reading along the way, where it is that we were reading together. We read Sharon Draper's Out of My Mind. And one of the awesome things is that was coordinated is that the authors of these different books actually were interacting with the kids. And in this case, we had a Google Hangout at the end of the whole session, where it is that people from all over were watching a shared viewing experience with Sharon Draper and being able to ask questions of her. And that's actually posted on YouTube, where it is that they shared out the meeting with that author. And then so some of the books that are coming up for this next year with those book choices, that I'm seeing is The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, The 14th Goldfish by Jennifer Holm, One for the Murphys by Linda Moulay Hunt, and The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. They didn't have it broken down by grade level this time, but they actually have it broken down by book choices. And then so if you're younger, they're doing a book study, and they do an author study, and then so 2014 author study is going to be on Peter H. Reynolds. And it's just been awesome for the kids to be able to interact within that online space and to be able to just connect in those different ways. What it is that I did this past year is that I connected with some teachers back in different states where it is that we had an Edmodo group where it is that the students were communicating back in through the Edmodo group as they were reading together. And so that communication could occur asynchronously rather than in real time.
Yeah, we used Edmodo 2 in 2nd grade.
What is it that you did?
We were talking back and forth with a classroom in North Carolina. Last year we read Marty McGuire was the 1st or 2nd grade text that we read.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got connections in Texas this year for the Read Aloud and New Jersey. But I want to get it bigger than just a book. That's, with the Common Core, if we're all doing the same thing, I think there's a lot of exciting ways that we could collaborate and do things differently in our classrooms.
Okay. It said that we lost the server broadcast. And people there, but we're back. That commercial break brought to you by
Edmodo.
If you haven't participated with an EdmodoCon before, I highly suggest that. EdmodoCon is happening on August
6th.
6th, thank you.
Yep.
And it is an awesome experience. That's where it is that I first learned about the Global Read Aloud project. But you can make so many different connections with other teachers and with other classrooms on Edmodo. And a lot of us already that are within this community with the edcampHOME probably are within Twitter and have some of those connections built up within Twitter as well. I know that I visit different hashtags as well, well, I am a 5th grade teacher, so I should be only visiting the 5th chat, but I'll visit the other grade levels just to get some different perspectives as well. And so that's been a great experience in just making those connections with other teachers as well. What else has people done to connect their classrooms?
Oh.
Mystery Skypes, anyone?
Sorry. Middle of 2 different things. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. We've done, and it just left my brain. There's a group that will allow you to sign up with them and do you'll find a partner, and we've done them across just sort of like a kindergarten basically jumps into it the most, and they'll find a partner class in another country and send them a it's the Teddy Bear Project. If you Google the Teddy Bear Project, and the idea is that they send each other a teddy bear. So we always try to dress them up something Texas-like, and then we send chips and salsa and state fair cards and things of that nature that are pecans and things like that in a care package, and then they'll send us a teddy bear with a care package, and then the idea is that you pen pal back and forth, and you're technically supposed to do it first person from the teddy bear. But we've got kindergartners, so really they're like, Buddy came home with me today, and we had a great time playing in the backyard, and then we made a cake, and we went to bed, and it's pretty generic like that, but it's an opportunity for the kids to kind of write about their day and share it with a wider audience, and then they use that to kind of Google Earth where it is that their school is, and they look at their flag, and they look at other kind of pieces of it, which is really, it's really cool. I just was trying to, I'm personally trying to find some other things that we can do beyond. Go ahead.
I know that I actually did. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to, I know literacy is always something that's very important in the schools. At the primary school where I was working this past year, the last 2 years, it was an IB school, so an International Baccalaureate school. So there's that element of philanthropy and helping others. And the children were talking about water and how important water was, and what happens to other parts of the world when people don't have enough water. We are in a rainforest community, so we do get a lot of water. And one of the moms was involved in a project in South Sudan, and this just snowballed. The children became interested, and they've been, raising money to send to this foundation where they're building wells in Africa and South Sudan. So, there's also a literacy component that can be attached to that, integrating, the water theme into their learning. And so there was a real lesson for them in how people live in other parts of the world and how fortunate we are, and what are the different ways that we, how can we help? How can children, in a small way, bringing in their birthday money or whatever it is that they have, their piggy banks, and sharing it with these children so that, a water well can be built. And then there are, images come back from South Sudan. It's just been a really successful and rewarding activity for the children and the school. So anyway, the whole school's involved. It's a very small primary school. So anyway, so that I felt was a very rewarding learning experience for everybody.
Do you do that through UNICEF?
No, it's not done through UNICEF. It's through one of the moms who has this foundation, and had the children involved. And actually, it was the children that started becoming, they were quite inquisitive about this, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So for the last 2 years, they've been on this fundraising. Things are sort of revolving around this water well project in South Sudan. So anyway, it's been very worthwhile, and it's ongoing. It's called Obaki Foundation, Obakki. Obaki Foundation. Obakki. Obaki Foundation.
That is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and look that up.
It's so cool. And there's actually, if you go to the website, there's also a video of the children speaking about what they've been doing, and it's quite something. So if you have a chance to check it out, I'll see if I can dig it up myself right now.
That is great. I'm actually going to screen share.
Oh, okay.
And then in screen sharing, I can go ahead and pull up just where it is that's the website itself with the Obaki Foundation, while I'm pulling up that screen share over there. And then so it's all beginning with water. I'll just go ahead and talk about some of the different things that are out there. I know that Angela Myers, it was, and I'm just with You Matter, and just really stressing to the kids that they can make a difference within people's lives. And then so there's another project where it's Project Yesu, and then so it's at Project Yesu, where it's just amazing what it is that what people can do and what the kids can do when you give them that chance to actually be able to do it. And then so Project Yesu started by Mallory, who was 14 years old at the time, where it is that she helps the children of Uganda, where it is that it started over in 2011. And then so that was just really awesome. And so that's the Obaki Foundation. It's OBAKKI Foundation.org for more information there. And then the other one was Project Yesu, is what it is that I was talking about there. And then they have a website as well, where it is that they're continuing to to work with some of those different things. And then so that was really awesome. As long as I'm screen sharing right here, because I had one more tab that was open. And then so I didn't get a response from Katie Ann 76. So her Twitter handle is at Katie Ann underscore 76. But she has a project going on which is called the Global Digital Scrapbook Project, and then so that's what this is right here. And then so that's her Twitter handle there, and then just where the teachers and students engage in different discussions with others during the project about their country, their schools, their hobbies. And then so that was something that she put together this past year, and then so I was trying to put together, I message her to see whether that's something that she's doing this next year. I'm just not sure. And then so she didn't respond to me right away. She actually might be in another session with edcampHOME 3.0. Here's Project Yesu, still thinking about loading at this point, so but I'll stop screen sharing. I think that I'm straining the computer as it is.
Craig, I heard you start talking about the mystery Skype, and that's something that I want to do this next year. Has anybody here done the mystery Skype already?
No, but I want to.
I'm signed up.
I've considered it.
Awesome.
Well, we'll have a lot of new people doing it next year. They'll have a lot of new users.
Fine. I have done it. We actually had 3 Skype sessions and 3 mystery Skype sessions this past year. And then so we were connecting with classrooms from all over. And I, to be able to find classrooms, what it is that I did is that, well, for those that aren't familiar with mystery Skype, also referred to as mystery location calls, what we do is it's basically like 20 questions to be able to determine where it is and somebody is located within the country. And then so the students ask individual questions, and then they have different jobs, and we have different different jobs for each of the students to be able to do and be able to be responsible for. And in doing that, there's people like the interview, so there's people who are like on camera initially, there's people that are working with atlases, there's people that are working within a back channel, there's people that are, there's runners, so that there's not chaos within the room, where they each have different responsibilities, and there's a whole bunch of different communities where it is that you can go beyond just over to Skype in the classroom to be able to connect with other classes for a mystery Skype. Anybody do Skype in the classroom, connecting with other scientists or connecting with authors or anything along those lines?
I've done it with Skyping with people in different careers. With my 5th graders, I do a lot of like Holland's theory, career theory, and linking with the different personality types.
Nice. Has that been more global, or has it been, because it's not necessarily all about global, but at least it's outside the classroom?
It's been, this past year, it's been more domestic, but I have done in the past, I'd always do diversity lessons, and I've Skyped with a 2nd grade classroom at my school to a classroom in London, because I have a school counselor friend who is a counselor outside of London, and that was really cool. We did, you know, kind of like a friend Vin, and talked about the differences between their school in London and our school in North Carolina, so that was really cool.
That is really cool. And I don't think it necessarily always has to be about connecting with them always through video. In other words, they can do shared projects, and then so that'd be like one of the powers of like Edmodo, to be able to have that shared experience, or even the power of Google Docs to be able to have them collaboratively work on a project. That's something that they could do pretty easily as well. Other thoughts?
I'm curious with the mystery Skype, because I heard about that just the last couple of months is when I started hearing about it on Twitter.
Sure.
But I know I can see that easily working with 5th graders that are, but with 1st graders, I'm wondering how that would work, or do you kind of specifically choose some place that's a little bit easier for them to figure out, or how would, no, your thoughts?
You're going to be connecting them with other classes, and in connecting them with other classes, you're connecting them specifically. You can connect them specifically with another first grade class. In other words, they would be at that same skill set and that same skill level, and then where it is that you would be able to still ask specific questions, and then I would feel that you'd still be able to guide them in answering some of those questions, and then you'd be assigning some of those different tasks to those students that where it is that they're stronger within that particular area. So for instance, the people on camera have to be able to answer the questions that are posed. So if somebody might ask, hey, is your state landlocked? And so if the people on camera don't know whether or not that the state is landlocked or not, then that's an issue and a problem. And so that's where you're like going, okay. So you might have to send that back over to the research community and the think tank, and then we have a think tank where it is that they have to answer those questions, and we have a screener. There's a screener area where it is that the questions even have to go through that process even before it even gets to the people that are on camera. Cyberman has a huge page on everything. Jerry Blumengarten. And then so mystery location calls is what it is that he calls it. And then the reason that he calls it that, instead of just calling it a mystery Skype call, is because you don't necessarily have to do it over through Skype. You can go ahead and do that over through a Google Hangout as well. Another one that I just learned about from Jake Duncan this past week is called appear.in. And then so it's very, very easy for video conferencing purposes to just type in an address and then just connect with another class right away without having to say, okay, well, here's my Skype account and here's this and here's that. The thing that I found to be very beneficial, and I blogged about my experience about Skyping and things like that, and including some of those resources within there. I'm actually presenting on this specific topic both tomorrow at locally and then also on Saturday as part of RSCon 5, and then so I'll have a lot more resources linked back on over within that area of just that global collaboration and just being able to connect and lowering those classroom walls. And then what they called it at MeadoWCon last year, they have a recording from that at MeadoWCon 2013. They called it flattening the classroom, and then flattening those classroom walls, because it is so easy to connect beyond your classroom and bring in those experts.
Craig, will you type that up here.in? I'm not sure whatever you used for that. How do you write that?
Sure. Within the chat box is appear, and then it's a dot, and then in.
Oh, okay, appear. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, and I saw that, and I'm like going, wow, that's really impressive. While I was not at ISTE, because I was not at ISTE, and then within that community, we also played with some different things. And then so one of the things that we played with was the site called Kahoot. And then I feel that could be something where it is that we could play. It's a game-based site where it is that you could end up playing it with globally. In other words, with another classroom in real time. Has anybody had an experience with Kahoot?
Not yet, but I've heard about it, and I want to look more into it, and yeah.
And so that other app or website, appear.in, did you say? Appear, A-P-P-E-A-R, as in appear, disappear?
Pretty sure that's the case.
.in.
Yeah, I checked it, Craig. That's right.
Yeah,
if you open the chat box, you'll see how he wrote it.
Yeah,
okay.
it's one.
I didn't see
it's
that.
basically one-click video conversations where all it is that people would need to know is the address, and then you're in.
Okay.
Some tips that I would give you in connecting with video is to make sure that, and I'm not modeling this very well, and then perhaps it's because I'm at home. I'm on wireless at home, and typically when it is that we're doing a video conferencing call within school, I will go ahead and make sure that we're plugged into the wall. rather than being wireless. And so that's something that's really nice. This past year, we didn't have anything beyond just our laptop and just with that webcam, but it still worked out perfectly fine. In other words, it's still, you have people walk up to the computer to be able to talk to the other people. We did some shared reading experiences where it is that we were reading together with other classes, and then so that's always a fun thing to do as well.
Now I see Kate iEarn, the group that does the partnering. I'm sorry, I missed that. iEarn was?
iEarn is the group that we use to help us partner up for the Teddy Bear Project.
Okay.
And they have a whole catalog of other, I mean, literally, like you do have to sign up for a membership. It's not outrageously expensive for the whole school. Well, I signed up for one, but I've only got kindergarten who's doing it with me. So, you know, I don't get like a site license, but I'm using so few that, you know what I mean? And I end up paying point person anyway. But, you know, once you're in, you can partner with as many people as you want to. But they have things like global awareness. If you go to the website, there's a whole bunch of collaboration things, and I can screen share if you want me to. But there's a whole bunch of different just kind of like they're sort of groups. I mean, the one thing I would definitely say to watch for when you're doing that is make sure that the partner classroom is working on the same schedule that you are, because we've gotten into situations where we're partnering with somebody in like Iran who, right?
Yeah.
Last year we literally had
the time zone things are rough.
Yeah, they're not even close. We literally had to send home because we were partnering with people. Where were we? I don't remember, but there was one where a teacher was kind of like, I think I need to send home something to the parents ahead of time because I'm afraid that they're going to say, wait a minute, we're partnering with who here?
Yeah.
But they, you know, if they don't kind of know that you want to be interacting with them, you know, biweekly or once a month throughout the year, or, you know, the months that I'm hoping to really do this project are January through May or something to that effect, you'll end up kind of sending something back, and it's totally pen pal. They set it up within, so they've got their own chat boxes within it, and they can. This is so much easier if I can sign in.
But I can
share it with you, but
look it up. Yeah, I can look it up.
Yeah. It's different once you're on there, but like you get into, and they kind of do forums, and they kind of do, you know, it's almost like a wall that you're posting back and forth to, and it is password protected to a point, and you know what I mean, like, because there was also that question of, well, you know, we have little kids, do we put their pictures up on the internet that anybody can find? Well, you know, we don't, and the typical rule of thumb for us is, you know, if there's a picture of the kid, his name does not appear directly below it, no last names and all that, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I see that there's yeah. You know, I'm just looking it up. There's also a Canadian one as well. So
in fact, there's one, if you're interested, there's a tulip project where kids plant tulips, and then they record temperatures and when the tulips come up and how they look and how tall they get and things. I mean, they go through just sort of all of the kind of bits with that, which, you know, as my McKinney friend could probably tell you, is very different down here than it is up north. Tulips come up a little earlier down here, and they don't just re-come up. You have to plant them every year, and, you know, that's
right.
That's a completely, you know, I grew up in Iowa. Like, you planted them once and you were done. Like, you know, that's just not how it works. So it's a different kind of, you know, being able to maybe weekly back and forth about, hey, it's December and here's the temperature outside, and no, we don't have snow. Like, you know.
Yes. Now, do you think this would be something appropriate, like, because I deal with small groups of children at a time, although I could collaborate with a classroom teacher and do something with a classroom teacher, is this something that you could take on as in small groups? Like, are there opportunities for small groups of children?
You know what you could do, and depending on how many groups of kids you have, you could kind of like, because it's so I mean, it's all basically done almost through email and through chats of that nature. You can pull them together and have, even though you've got 3 or 4 different groups of kids who are kind of partnering with other kids, you don't get independent pen pals. You're pen paling with a classroom. So it's your classroom with their classroom. So you could take 2 or 3 different classrooms and pen pal with their classroom. And to be honest, it almost just depends on, as you're talking to the teacher that you get paired up with, how they want to do it.
Right.
You know, like I said, we've had some that are just sort of, you know, we touch base 2-3 times during the year, which gives our kids sort of a look outside of Texas. And for kindergarten, that's awesome. You know, I've kind of wanted to, there's something, and I have to find it again, there's one that's called like Monster Chat, or Monster something, where they, you know, one school builds a monster and then they write down the steps in order to create the monster, and then that's what gets sent to the next school. So then that school gets it, and they have to try to build the monster, and then that last day is kind of that Skype where they compare monsters and how close did we get. You know, like that's, you know, sort of that following direction kind of flip side of things. And I would, you know, I've always wanted to do that one, but we never seem to get it together by October. You know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was trying to find that global, the Monster Chat global project is what it is that I'm trying to draw up over here, and then so I'm not sure if I actually got it or not.
It's something separate. I don't think it's on Iron.
Oh, really? So I think there's a site over here that, as I'm trying to pull that into Google, where it's like, that sounds pretty cool site too. It says Global Collaborative Projects for 21st Century Schools, just by typing Monster Chat Global Project as a search. We've been asked to wrap it up at this point. Yeah, things that I tossed is within the chat box was just blogging is a huge platform to be able to connect with other classes globally. You might want to look into hashtag comments for kids to be able to comment on other people's blogs. And then the other one is quadblogging.net, where it is that you're partnered with 3 other classrooms, where it is that you take turns commenting on each other's blogs.
Can I throw a shameless plug in here really quickly?
Of course.
My last course that we, or the last, you know, session we just had was about blogging, classroom blogging, and talking about it. And she just sent me the, so we haven't quite gotten to the to fixing it up yet. But we were going to create kind of like a Google Doc, kind of a form sort of thing, so that people who were wanting to interact with other people via classroom blogs were going to do it, and we were totally going to like PlayPal, or what was it, PlayPals or something to that effect, that we were going to completely commandeer. Yeah, that was going to be our hashtag.
Comment and things like that. Awesome.
Yes.
So I think my takeaway is always just, there are just so many different options out there to be able to connect with other classrooms, and then just bringing in those other people beyond just me as a teacher. It just opens up that many more opportunities. Heidi, what's your takeaway?
Well, my takeaway is that this is something that can be done with lots of ideas that can be done at any age, from kindergarten right up to, you know, grade 12, I guess. So,
awesome. Liza?
Trying to decide which I want to try first, because I know I haven't. We basically connected with classrooms in the school, and that was about. But I saw how much they liked that too. The going outside the classroom, and so I mean, I'm going to start with the blogging, and between the teddy bear project or a mystery Skype, I think is where I want to start with.
Awesome. Skype in the classroom offers a whole bunch of guest lecturers. You can connect with museums, go on virtual field trips, and it's already set up right there. It's definitely something where it's join that community. It's free. Look into some of those resources. Takeaway, Leslie?
For me, I think I would say just the plethora of ideas, but we try to work globally, but I don't have a lot of success in keeping those relationships. So I guess what I've taken away is that you really have to reach out and make those relationships with people. So I'm kind of interested in the quad blogging, and I think I'm going to start with that. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. And we're archived onto YouTube forever as Edcamp Home 3.0. Make your way back over to the Edcamp homepage. I'm going to stop this broadcast now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.